Welcome to Beehive's Solved Cases, where we take a closer look at cold cases that have went on the ice block of someone's desk. Today we will be taking another look at Dr. Teleka Patrick's Twitter account. The Twitter account we will review today will be coming from a set of July 2013 tweets that will show the fear Teleka had when she realized a security officer showed up outside of her home. July 2013 at 11:24 p.m. on a Saturday. Dr. Teleka Patrick wrote, "I never changed my mind. I'll explain, but not like this. If you want this, you need to let me know. Otherwise, I just have to move forward onto things I can trust and be sure of. All too much information comes down in the morning. Happy reading. If there was a button that I could press to be totally unconfused, I sure would press it now. So if someone's security shows up at your home unexpectedly and doesn't talk to you, is that not effing creepy? Someone you've seen in a different context shows up in your current context and doesn't speak. Would you feel safe? Would you know what the hell was going on? Like I said, if this is not explained to me personally, I am staying away. You don't want to mess up your life. Guess what? Me neither. If I am not directly, personally, and explicitly invited into your life, I will assume that I am unwanted. I refuse to endanger everything I have worked so hard for. I've done more than enough. If you want this, you need to come out of the shadows. Too much information is coming down very soon. I mean, maybe it's not a big deal that the guy who appears to be the head of security where you work just randomly show up in front of my home and didn't talk to me, though he has talked to me several times prior. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe he just happened to be in the area at 7:30 a.m. I don't know. Maybe it's just bad luck that it happened right after I joined up. What I do know is that it creeped me out and scared the living daylights out of me. And I started to think, well, maybe it's a problem that I'm around. Maybe I'm getting too close to you or something, so I retreated. When you fail to communicate, misunderstandings occurs. That's what I've been trying to tell you. I refuse to carry on like this anymore. Some people have publicists tweet for them or tailor their tweets so they'll attract a particular audience. It's marketing. There's a lot here that I'm very unsure of, and I think understandably so. What I am sure of is that I need to complete my training so that everything I've worked for or work hard for doesn't go down the drain. Allegedly, Dr. Teleka Patrick wrote these tweets. Allegedly. Who's to say that Dr. Teleka wrote these tweets? Have anyone checked her IPS, these tweets? Could it be someone who knows Dr. Teleka Patrick wrote these tweets? Could Marvin Sapp and Teleka Patrick been catfished by the same person? Why would Teleka Patrick have so many Twitter handles? Why would she choose to have a lot of Twitter handles? What would make sense for her to have these different type of Twitter handles? And why would Teleka Patrick keep changing up these different Twitter handles? Have anyone spoke to her siblings to see whether or not Teleka contacted them from these different Twitter handlers? Teleka right now, Cali Girl 2013, Teleka Patrick, Sandra 2920, Moses Beautiful, Patient Munchkin. It sounds like Teleka Patrick have been catfished into thinking that Marvin Sapp was her husband or wanted to date her. It doesn't make sense that Teleka Patrick, a brilliant doctor, a woman that studied hard to become a doctor, would walk in fear. Who got close to Teleka Patrick to cause her to run in fear that night? Who was she running from? Why was she running? Someone made her fearful. Someone made her uncomfortable. The next set of tweets that I would like to talk about is July 21st, 6:27 a.m. Allegedly, Teleka Patrick wrote these tweets. So if you aren't willing to spend time with me and call me and give me something tangible to go off of, I have to let you go. Period. If you think I'm pulling your leg, 7/9 was when the guy was outside my home. I was so freaked out that I had a friend come check out the neighborhood and also to visit where you work. On 7/14, ask your brother and your mom. That day, someone showed up that resembled you a lot. I had him come and check things out to ensure that things were safe for me. You know you, and that's great, but please keep in mind that I don't know you, not enough anyway. People with resources are capable of things that people without resources aren't. Thus my weariness about everything. I know that I told you that I was going to contact you and I wasn't going to contact you anymore. I did that because I wasn't sure what was going on and I was scared. I was planning to reconnect you shortly after. But when that guy showed up, it reinforced my fear and I figured I shouldn't contact you. Here's the thing. The way we were communicating, it left a lot to the imagination. If we had better communication, we both could be more sure of things. I think you are allowing fear to prevent you from contacting me. But guess what? Now I'm afraid too. So now what? I need to deal in realities, understand, or else I won't be sure if what I'm thinking is correct or not. How will I know if I'm right if nothing I've communicated to you has ever been validated? Ever, exactly. This makes no sense. We need to communicate openly and freely, like normal adults, so none of this horrible confusion ever happens again. If you can't do that, then I'm going to hang out over here and complete my training. Too much information coming down. Now, Teleka Patrick doesn't sound like a stalker. Teleka Patrick have said many times allegedly in her tweets, if this person doesn't give her something tangible to go off of, she would have to let this person go, period. She also stated that she worked hard to get where she is as a doctor. And she was sure that this person wasn't going to mess their life up and she wasn't going to mess her life up. Teleka Patrick allegedly said that she didn't want to be labeled in another set of tweets that she had. She didn't want to be labeled as a stalker. So it doesn't look like to me that Teleka Patrick would become a stalker unless someone kept feeding her lies to make her think that this man that she thought wanted her was interested in her. But yet he never communicated to her. He never talked back to her. They never met. They never went out on a date. She even proved in many of her tweets that she didn't go out on a date with this man. So who was this person that she was confiding in? I want to know who the no name friend from the church that she attended at the lighthouse. This was her friend. Who was this friend? And why did this friend keep her pictures? Why did the friend didn't want to send her her pictures? What motives did the friend have? Was the friend doing Photoshop? Was the friend the one creating these different Twitter handles? Did the friend have Teleka Patrick nervous and confused and scared for her life? Who is this unknown woman? Who was Teleka talking to cause her to be paranoid? Who caused Teleka Patrick to run to a hotel that night, leaving most of her belongings at work in her locker and some in her car? And why was Teleka Patrick found with the clothes she was wearing the night that she was seen on video trying to get a room, but she was found a couple of months later with the same clothes on? That's questions that need to be asked and looked at. How can we close a case when we have not begun to look into the case? A brilliant doctor as Teleka Patrick, her family deserves closure. Her family deserves to know what happened to their sibling and their daughter. What caused the demise of Teleka Patrick? That's the question we want to know. Why was she talking about a security guard? Who would have a security guard? Was she talking about a security guard that works at the hospital? Was she running from somebody from the hospital where she worked? Or did this so-called friend speak to Teleka and cause Teleka to believe that she was being involved or contacted, or she should send unwanted emails and pictures to Marvin Sapp? Was Marvin Sapp and Teleka Patrick catfish and they didn't even know it? What games are being played here that caused this beautiful, intelligent, brilliant woman to lose her life? That's my question. And we're going to keep digging and digging and digging until we come up with an answer.